Hello everyone, this is me Dipali Vishwakarma from mtech IT 4th SEM, and today I am completing my third assignment of Python programming. So the topic for today is control statements. So control statements are structures in programming language that enables you to control the flow of execution in your program. They allows you to make decisions, repeat certain actions and handle exceptional cases. So in Python there are mainly three types of control statements. First is conditional, next is looping, and next is control flow. So what exactly a conditional statement is? So whenever we have to apply a condition in our logical program, then we use the conditional statements. There are mainly three types of conditional statements that we use in Python. First is if, next is elif, and next is else. So all those conditions we gonna learn later. Now let's move into the looping statements. So it allows repetition of code blocks either for a specified number of times or until a condition is met. So there are two types of loops used in Python. So first is while and for. Next is control flow statements provide control over the flow of execution, such as terminating loops or skipping iterations based on certain conditions. So these are three types. Here is first is break, then continue, then pass. So these control flow statements helps in making our code much efficient. So like for example, if we take an example of a certain logic or code where if we want to implement or execute a particular block of code, not the whole program, then we use this break, continue and pass statements. So let's move on to the conditionals. So what exactly conditionals are? So conditionals are also known as conditional statements or conditional expressions. They are structures in programming language that allows the execution of different code blocks based on specified conditions. They provide the ability to make decisions and control the flow of a program. So there are three conditionals in Python. First is if, elif, then else. Now let's see the working of them. So the if statement allows you to execute a block of code if a condition is true. So firstly, if we have a condition or we want to execute some conditions upon our code, then we can write simply with the if statement. Now next is elif statement. The elif statement is short for else if and is used to check additional conditions if the condition for if statement is false. So it is optional and can appear multiple times within a statement. So whenever our if condition doesn't meet the expectations, then definitely we move to the next elif condition. So elif condition can be written multiple times as well, depending upon the logic and need of the condition. So and if both if and elif condition get results in false, then definitely there is another statement, that is else, is used. It is used to define a block of code that should be executed if none of the preceding conditions are true. Now conditions evaluate a condition or expression that results in a boolean value. If that is true, then this is gonna implement, and if that is false, then this is gonna implement. So based on the evaluation of the condition, the program decides which block code to execute. Now let's see what if else condition do. So let's take an example. If we take a number input from user and we want to check if that number is even or odd, then we can write that code in if else condition, like if the number divide modulo 2 is equal to results in 0, then print that the number is even. So if the number modulo 2 results in 0, then definitely it's gonna print that the number is even, and if that condition gets false, then we move on to the next statement, and that is else. So in else statement, definitely if it's not even, then it's gonna be odd. So we will write the condition print the number is odd. So this is how if else condition works. And if we have any other conditions, like if any other logic where there is a need of multiple statements, so we can write it in the form of if, elif, 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 and as much as we want, and then in last we write the else statement. Now let's move on to multiple conditions using and or. So in many conditions there are like multiple conditions, so we can write both the condition together, and we can even execute a particular output from that, for example using and operator. If there are two conditions, condition 1 and 2, so if both of the conditions are true, then definitely the output return inside this if condition will gonna execute, else it's not gonna execute. Now when we use an or operator, then condition 1 or condition 2, any of them is true, then definitely it's gonna execute the further thing written inside the if statement, or else it will proceed. Now here we can see x value is 5, y is 10. So if x is greater than 0 and y is smaller than 15, definitely these both two conditions are true, and there is an and operator. So this next print both condition are true statement is gonna execute. Now let's move on to the next example. If x is greater than 10, definitely it's not, this is false. X is smaller than 15, definitely y is smaller than 15. Then either any of them condition is true, definitely second statement is true, condition is true, then the next statement print at least one condition is true will gonna execute. Now let's see the next thing, that is nested if else condition. So the nested if else syntax allows you to have an if else statement inside another if or else block. This allows for more complex branching and decision making in your code. So let's see the syntax. Like there is if condition 1, then if condition 2, inside the condition if, then else condition, then else condition. So this is how a nested if else condition looks like. Now next move on to the elif condition. So the elif statement in Python is short for else if, and is used to introduce an additional condition to be checked if the preceding if or elif condition are false. It allows for multiple conditional branches in your code. Like if condition 1 is true, then elif is not gonna execute, but if that condition is false, elif gonna execute. And if the condition written inside elif is true, the next code will not execute, and if elif condition is false, the next code will definitely execute. So this was all about the conditional statements. So thank you so much for watching. That's it for today.